Hey, my name's Izzy. This is Rolling Virtual Cards coming at you with another Commander deck build. Here we have Erkenbrand, Lord of Westfold. This is 3 in a red for a 3/3 legendary creature human soldier. Whenever Erkenbrand, Lord of Westfold, or another human enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So, Erkenbrand, excuse me. What is the point of this deck? This point is humans entering the battlefield and then all your creatures get +1/+0. That's the idea. Cast a bunch of humans in one foul swoop. Make sure they all have haste. They're all gonna... Creatures you control get +1/+0 till end of turn. So, the way that works is that it's a global effect that triggers multiple times. So, if you trigger this like 5 times after 5 creatures, all creatures are gonna get +5/+0. It's not a one-off. Only creatures you control at the time it resolves. Any creatures that come in under your control later this turn. Oh, okay. So yeah, humans into the battlefield under your control. Creatures you control get +1/+0 till end of turn. Okay. So yeah, the way that works, I guess, is yeah, it is different. So you do have to keep track of what one comes in. But if you cast like 5, if you have 5 humans on the field and Erkenbrand, and you cast 5 humans, they're all going to get +5/+0, but those humans will each get 1 less per, like the first one that comes down will get all of them, and the second one that you cast will have 1 less, and the third one will have 2 less, and so on and so forth. But it will buff them all, and that's kind of the point here. You'd want to run Erkenbrand, I guess, if you want to run a mono-red human deck. I don't think there's many other mono-red humans. There's a few in this set, actually, in the Lord of the Rings set. It's not great. I guess if you really want to have like a struggle, or you're running like an uncommon commander thing with your friends, that kind of has fun. But other than that, it's not very much a strong commander. But it can be a challenge, and sometimes building a challenge deck is fun. It's a cheap commander, so I don't think it's the best. But we'll go over the card by card, see what we get. First off, we got Impact Trimmers. These are the ETB cards. There's not a lot with ETBs, but Impact Trimmers, since you're running a lot of creatures, a lot of humans, Impact Trimmers is just going to let you pop everything. Or not pop everything, just start dealing more damage to your opponent, which will help you close out the game sooner. Imperial Recruiter, you're going to cast it and you're going to grab another human, which you didn't going to cast. Casting Malcontents. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to target player equal to the number of humans you control. So if you've got like 10 humans, 10 damage to another player, this is just, again, like Impact Trimmers, helps you get closer to the damage output that you need to your opponent. ETB Enablers, Norin the Wary is kind of where you want to be. It's a human, it's a 1-drop. It does come in each time, so it can buff your creatures on your opponent's turns, which helps them be blockers. Not the best, but it is okay. Twin Flame is a combo piece, and it is like the win con in this deck. So you'll see later why it's here, but anyway, you can use it to copy a bunch of humans and go for a win there. Feldon of the Third Path is great because you can just pay 3 to keep bringing a human back, which is strong. Getting something like Imperial Recruiter, or constantly getting casting Malcontents over and over on each turn to just bombard your opponents with damage is useful. Helm of the Host is really strong on your commander because that for each one, that'll be another +1/+0, which is very strong, and it triggers them each. So because it's when it or another human enters the battlefield. So on your turn, the first time Helm of the Host is on Erkenbrand, Erkenbrand will come out and you'll get a second Erkenbrand, and both will trigger. So all your humans will get, or all your creatures will get +2/+0, and the next time they'll get +3/+0. So Helm of the Host is like the win con in this deck. One of the win cons. Jax is the Troublemaker. It's similar to Feldon here, where you can just make a copy of something. It's going to give you some draw, but getting another human out for 1 is not bad. Yeah, it can't attack, which is problematic, but you do get something else that can attack. It has haste. When it dies, you're going to be drawing a card. So there's a lot of good here. And again, making something like Casting Malcontent or Imperial Recruiter copies are pretty good. You can also use it to copy Feldon, and then tap Feldon to grab another card from the graveyard, which is fun. Panharmonicon is going to double all the ETBs, which includes Erkenbrand, which is going to be another +1, +2/+0 each time instead. Flame Rush Rider is another really strong card because when it attacks, you get a token that's a target another target attacking creature that's tapped and attacking. Exile the token into combat, but getting another Cassian, getting another Imperial, grabbing any other human. To be fair, grabbing another Erkenbrand. It'll like if you grab another Erkenbrand will die because it sees another itself again, but you still get 2 because of both of them. So that's very useful. Good buff there. Finishers. There's a lot of finishers here, being like things that just win you the game. Rally at the Hornbridge will create 2 1/1 humans, soldier creature tokens, and then humans you control gain haste until it turns. So this is great to play once you have like 10 humans on the field. This just pluses them all +2/+0, and then they all gain hastes. So, and they both hit the field at the same time, so they become 3/1s. And you can just start swinging. Archetypal Progression gives them all trample. This is going to help you get through much easier. Fever just gives all creatures haste. Rising of the Day, creatures you control have haste, and then legendary creatures get buffed. You have a lot of legendaries in here that'll just get that nice buff. Anger gives them all haste. And Frontier, Warmonger is great because when one or more creatures attack one of your opponents or a planeswalker they control, those creatures gain menace on turn. So as long as you attack with any creature, amount of creatures, they all gain menace, which is another great way to try to get in and kill. Magecraft, the only Magecraft we have here is Dragon's Rage Channel. It's a human. The Surveil is not bad. You can dump cards you don't need, or if you have something like Valdon, you can get them back, or like Anger you want in the graveyard. But regardless of that, it can become big sometimes depending on what's in the graveyard. Not the best, but it's not bad. It's a 1/1 human, so triggers the effect pretty fast. Ramp. We have a lot of ramp because we need to get a lot of humans up. Everflowing Challenge is the multi-kick and taps for the amount of counters on it. Soul Ring taps for 2. Wafer Baubles grabs you a basic. Arc Insignet and Valorn taps for any color basically. Fire Diamond taps for a red, but enters the battle tapped. Liquid Metal Torque taps for colorless. Mind Stone taps for colorless and can draw your card if you sack it. Sword of the Animus is going to give you a basic each turn when you attack, and you will be attacking. Thought Vessel makes your hand size unlimited, or gives you no maximum hand size and taps for colorless. Burnish Heart will grab you 2 basic lands. Captain Lannery Storm will grab you a treasure each turn and is a human. It can also become big, but you gotta, whenever you sacrifice a treasure, it gets big, so you have to save up your treasures. Herald's Horn is ramped because it makes, you're gonna name human, and this is gonna make your humans smaller or cost less, and it's card draw because you can, at your upkeep, you look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it in your hand. So if you should reveal a human, you can reveal it. You can play it. Jessica's Will is great because you can just, if your commander's on the field, you're going to be able to usually get like at least 5 red, and you're in mono red, which makes Jessica's Will really good. And then exile the top 3 and probably get to play them. Professional Facebreaker is also really good because it's both ramp, because when one more creatures deal combat damage to a player, get a treasure. So if you deal damage to each opponent, you get 3 treasures, and you can sack treasures to exile cards from the top of your library and play them this turn. The only recursion is the Faldon. Again, not a lot of great lands. This is one of the interesting lands because it is one of the meld cards with another human you have on here, and the other extra lands are just draw cards because draw is good. Combo, here's your combo. Twin Flame Dual Caster Mage. Simple, cast Twin Flame, flash the Dual Caster Mage, copy Twin Flame, make infinite Dual Caster Mages. They're humans, so your humans become infinitely big, including your Dual Caster Mages, and then you just swing in. Game win. Very simple. They're both also not bad cards on their own. Yeah, here's the damages. Impact Tremors is the damage. And this one, when a human enters the battlefield under your control, Vigilant Duelins does 1 damage to any target. I forgot to put this under ETB. Gotta just toss that in there for a second. There we go. Draw. You have 15 draw. You need draw in this deck. Why? Because if you don't have humans to play, the deck falls apart. Faithless Looting allows you to draw 2, discard 2. So draw 2, find some more humans, get rid of the non-humans. Skull Clamp. You're running a lot of tokens. Sack them. Equip it to the tokens, kill them off, draw more cards. Conspiracy Theorist. Perfectly fine. When it attacks, you can pay 1 to discard a card if you draw a card, and then whenever you discard 1 or more non-land cards, you may exile 1 of them from the graveyard. If you do, you may cast it this turn. And this Atlas allows you to pay 2 and draw a card if you have 3 or more of the land with the same. So if you have 3 mountains, it's fine. Humble Defector, taps for 2, and then you give it to an opponent. Usually the way this works is you just tap for 2, give it to an opponent you're like that's behind, and then they'll just give it back to you, and you just keep working with them. Mind Stone has that sack it to draw a card. Throw a possibility allows you to discard a card to draw 2. So it's not technically card draw, it is replacing itself. But in this type of deck, it's fine because you really need to find your humans. Acolyte Hybrid is a very strong human. When it attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If an artifact is destroyed this way, its controller draws a card. So this is interaction, but you can pop your own artifacts to draw cards. Hero Charm we went over, Jessica's Whale we went over. Magus of the Whale is great because you can just pay 1 red to tap it and sack it, and then each player discards their hand and draw 7. If you got no cards in hand, you're just going to be drawing 7. So that's not bad. Quarrel's End is pretty cool. As an additional cost to cast this card, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create 2 white human soldier tokens. So this is going to give you 2 humans. Which is great. 2 humans is good. It's a nice buff to everything. And then you get some draw off of it too. Chaos Chandler is great. So when it attacks, you roll a d20. If it's a 1 through 9, you exile a card from your library. 10 through 19, you exile 2. 20, you exile 3, and you may play them this turn. So very strong way to just like try to get some more cards off the top of your library. Although the biggest issue with it is it's on attack. So if you exile humans, you can cast them this turn, but unless you have an extra combat, it ain't gonna help you. And we went over Jaxus. Combat Celebrants, extra combat. You can extort it to have another combat. Cool. It's useful. Untap all them, give, and attack again. Nice, fun combat. Try to win. Humans, we're running 35 humans altogether. So we went over these guys. Direfleet Daredevil is the 2-1 for 2. And when it enters the battlefield, you can exile instant source from an opponent's graveyard. You can cast it this turn. You just spend mana of any color. So if the spell would be put into a graveyard, exile instead. But you get something good out of your opponent's graveyard. Not bad. Harsh Mentor is not bad. It's just going to burn your opponents if I forgot to put damage on this one. There we go. But yeah, it's going to burn your opponent if they activate a card effect. That's not a mana ability. So that's just good burn damage over time. We went over Kara Zev is a 1/3 with First Strike and Menace, which helps it get in, but it also gets a 2/1 red monkey. That monkey's not a human, so it doesn't trigger the effect, but it's not a bad human just to get some aggressiveness out. Loyal Apprentice gives you a 1/1 Thopter each turn. Those Thopters will get the buffs, mind you. Not that turn, because the humans, it gets on combat, but unless you're making humans on combat, but it will make, it will get them bigger because the effect, it buffs all creatures you control. Rally of the Hornberg is cool. Went over that one. We went over those. Gallows of Willow Hollow. You can tap 3 untapped humans you control to destroy a target creature. Its controller makes a spirit. Fine. It's a good way to pop something. Not the best way, but it's an interesting way. Yes. Handwire Garrison. This is the other card to the meld with the land. But when it attacks, you make 2 humans. So when you attack everything, you make 2 humans tapped on the battlefield, tapped and attacking. So those are going to be 3 ones instead of 2 ones, and then everything else is going to get the +2, which is strong. Hero Torn we went over. Horn of Gondor is so broken in this deck. So enters the battlefield, you make a 1/1 human. Okay, cool. Fine. But 3 tap, create X 1/1 white human creature, soldier creature tokens for X is the number of humans you control. So you attack and you trigger this for 3. If you've got like 6 creatures or humans attacking, boom, here's 6 1/1s. They're all going to get +6/+0. That's insane. Like, it's really strong. And then the next turn, you have 12. +12. Like, here, Horn of Gondor is like, it's going to really push this deck over the limit to help you get to that point where you need to be. We went over Imperial Crew and casting. Magus of the Moon is a stacks piece. It's here because it just slows your opponents down when running multiple colors. Rot Renegade Leader, or Rot Ringleader. When it attacks humans, you control get +1/+0. It's fine. It's just another way to buff humans. Thatchet, you put 3 1/1 red human creature tokens with haste onto the battlefield. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next step. This is just 3 to get a +3/+0 on each component, and those humans will come in as 4/1s with haste. We went over Anger, Chaos, Frontier Warmonger. Oh, here we go. Sintin's Uprising. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 human creature token. Then, if you control exactly 13 permanents, you may sacrifice it. When you do, it deals 7 damage to any target. Not the best, because you do get the human, but the human, like, buffs them and then just disappears because the effect wears off. But that damage to anything is interaction. Plus, it gives you just another human to play with that can be buffed. So not too bad. Vigilant Justice, we went over. Flame Rush Riot, we went over. And, oh, here we go. Emery of Redmark. When it attacks, if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. So as long as you have the strongest creature, which you will because your commander is buffing everything, this will give you another human trigger to buff everything again. Interactions. Lightning Bolt deals 3 damage to anything. Vandal Blast is both a white for artifacts or pop for an artifact. A Braid hits 3 damage to a creature or an artifact. We went over Hush Minotaur. Oh, that's not interaction, actually. I guess it's technically interaction. It also falls kind of under stacks, because it makes your opponent question what they're doing, which is what I claim stacks does. Lightning Greaves and Swift for boost protect your commanders if they don't die. We went over Alakite Hybrid. Chaos Warp pops, or it tucks something and then makes them get something out random. You can also target one of your tokens to see if you can get something good. We went over those. Yep. Blasphemous Act usually costs 1 because it costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. So it's usually 1 red to deal 13 damage to each creature, which is usually a pop for everything. So it's just a good board wipe. We went over the 2 protections, the stacks, the tutor, and the 2 wipes. So overall, the point of this deck is to just swarm humans out and punch people really hard. It's hard to do that in mono red. This is a great starting off point, but as they release more mono red humans, you might find some more that are better. More mono red humans that make tokens. Not a lot of them do. There's not a lot of red cards that make human tokens. Most of those are white. If this was red white, it'd be probably a much better commander. But as is, it's middle, low tier, not great. But there is a reason to run it. If you really like this card from the books, I understand wanting to run it. So, that being that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.